Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. And by popular demand, a lot of you guys have been asking in the comments, as well as just in my streams and stuff like that, like, how do you beat Enel? How do you play against Enel as Gecko? And honestly, it's actually pretty straightforward, but there are, you know, reliances on drawing into just a few cards, right? I need to see Hogback. If you don't see Hogback in this matchup, you're pretty much cooked immediately. But bonus cards that really help make the matchup a lot easier are Perona, Sabo, and Moria, of course. But I'm starting it off. I'm taking first. First is always what I want to go into this matchup. You want to be aggressive. You also want to stop their optimal Gidatsu play. So if I'm able to play Sabo on my turn 3 with 5 Dawn, Gidatsu more or less just kind of becomes useless. I'm also taking every single life down to probably 2. I want to get down on life. Like, please attack me. That's what I want. So the reason why is because you don't want to give their Gidatsu, you know, the best plays possible. You also don't want to give their Yamatos, you know, too much value. Getting low on life is fine too, because a lot of times they'll prioritize, you know, kind of going for life in some of those moments, and it puts you in a better spot, which is great. I do end up swinging 6 here, and that means that I 100% didn't have Sabo, because if I did, I for sure would be playing Sabo without a doubt right here. Now I'm questioning whether I want to play Hogback or Perona. I do decide to go with the Perona because I know that next turn on 7 Dawn, I'll be able to play Hogback, get back my Moria, and then also maybe drop like a Borsalino or something. 7 Dawn for me, for going first, just means I get to play 2 4-cost bodies, or potentially like a Hina into like an Absalom or something, maybe a Rebecca Hina Absalom. But usually in this matchup, I do like the Borsalino. It feels really nice, so I'm just going to go brand new, this is arguably my next best play over not having Sabo, is just being able to go for brand new into a, you know, leader effect into a 4-cost body. Unfortunately, brand new doesn't hit me anything here, but that's fine. It got me targets and trash, which is really all I want. I need to have certain cards in this matchup. And I know that we're like 3 minutes into this video, but sorry, I've been having a little bit of congestion lately, so if my voice sounds a little off, sorry about that. But now we're going into 7. I didn't swing with Perona very intentionally. I don't want to give my opponent another target besides my life. I want to take life. So I'm not attacking early. I want to make sure that as we're going through this game, I'm playing out, you know, my optimal curve and making things work for me, and rather than giving my opponent, you know, a potential trigger that might change the game a little bit. I do end up picking up Moria off of my Hogback here. I can return one of my Sindries. I might want to keep potentially one of them just for the Moria play, but I decided to get rid of it because I was like, you know what? I got a brand new on board. I believe I have a brand new in trash as well. I have multiple 4-costs, which is really nice. Plenty of my Peronas also. But now I'm going to go ahead and decide to swing some of my Peronas. I don't mind if he attacks into it the following turn. I either feel comfortable enough that I can defend it, or that my opponent is going to be playing specifically, you know, certain cards on certain turns. And I go with a Kuzan here over a Borsalino. Kuzan's fantastic in this matchup, and I know that with him at excuse me, 7 Dawn, excuse me, 8 Dawn, the only way that he'd be able to remove it, well, I shouldn't say only, he has Raigo as well, but the optimal way for him to remove it would be an 8-cost Katakuri, and I'm trying to bait that out. I don't want him to use 8-cost Katakuri into my Moria. I want him to use it on my Kuzan and potentially not have another one. Now, if he's attacking life here, I might actually take this because I know that I'm going to get healed by Kuzan going to the bottom of my life. So I can just stay at 3 life. But I do decide to counter out because I think that he was swinging at Perona, if I'm not mistaken. But we are going to see the 8-drop category coming down. Kuzan is going to get bumped. Unfortunately, I didn't get back down. This is why I want to take life, because I'm going to get healed back with Katakuri. They're just going to constantly go for board because I'm pressuring them enough. So now is where I can start to chip at life a little bit. I can swing 5 because I have multiple swings. I don't need to go higher than 5. I just want a card out of hand. That's it. I'm going to go another 5 because, yet again, I still have potential lethal. If he takes this 5, then I can swing pretty heavy with Hogback and Moria. But what I do decide to do instead is not play Moria out. I decide to play Isho because he was at 8. I just get 2 cards out of his hand, and now I get 2 more as well with Isho. So 4 cards for the price of 2 5k swings is fantastic. We get 1 card out, which was a Capone Beige, and then we hit another one, and this one ends up being a 10 cost ace. He had the alt art. I actually thought it was a Katakuri for a second, but I ended up realizing like, oh, it's the alt art. But huge hit. Getting ace is amazing. Bringing my opponent down to 4 cards from 8 in 1 turn, also amazing. You know, Isho really did like insane work here, but we didn't exactly need it. It's more of kind of like a, it's more of like a, it's like a bonus. You know, if I see an Isho, I'm like, nice. You know, I don't need it, but I'm like, that feels good. But we're going to see a 7 going into Perona. Unfortunately, I just don't feel like dropping 2 cards for this, which is a bit of a shame because this will put us in a bit of an awkward spot if he swings 8 into Perona and I don't defend, and then he plays another Katakuri and removes my Isho. Because now it puts me in a spot where I'm like, oh, dang. Now I'm going to be staring down 2 Katakuris. I don't have any tall, you know, bodies on my board of my own, and it looks as though my opponent's doing exactly that. He's going to go down to, I believe, 3 cards in hand, but he bounces the Isho to the bottom. Yet again, I'm now back at 5 life. This is why we want to take life down to 2, potentially, like, or excuse me, 3 to 2. Like, I personally feel comfortable going to 2 in this matchup a lot of times, because I'm pressuring them enough that they don't have to go for my life, or they have to remove cards from my board into my life, and they're going, you know, just for my board, and I'm just bringing stuff back every single turn. So this whole matchup becomes a war of attrition. You know, I'm trying to, you know, bait my opponent into taking life strategically, and if they don't, then I can remove their board accordingly. So here I'm swinging 5 yet again into life. You know, I have potential lethal on board. He does go for it. I think this is, or excuse me, he does take the life, which is very, I think in this position is actually very smart. He gets rid of Rygo though, which is solid for us. I'm now going to swing 5 with brand new. I don't hate this, but I don't love it. I think I could have swung 7 with leader. And so I decided to just swing 5 with lead, just to get him to 0 life, and he does counter out. And then I'm just going to go Moria. I'm going to go Moria, probably just get back either a Hogback brand new to pick up that Moria you see at the bottom of the trash, or if I don't have the Hogback, then I actually think I didn't in this exact moment. I think I just end up playing like a Perona because I had nothing better to do. But no, I actually go with Rebecca just to protect one of my characters on board. And then I think I'm deciding whether I want to go brand new or excuse me. Oh, I returned all my Cindries. Never mind. I'm just a bad player. See, look at this. I shouldn't have returned both those Cindries earlier, because I think that getting more cards into trash, seeing a second Hogback would have been massive here. I want that Hogback in trash now because I haven't seen one. I just play out the Hina because I want an extra 5k. The Rebecca's going to stop one attack. I know I have my opponent at like 3 cards in hand, so for him to have another removal card to Moria is going to, it's very unlikely. It is possible, but it is unlikely. So I'm feeling pretty good at, you know, where we're at the moment. And excuse me, like I said, you know, congestion and allergies and everything. He swings 7 into Hina. Unfortunately, I just kind of have to let it go because I need the Hogback, so I kind of want him to swing into that card. I'm debating on whether I want to block or not, but he is going to swing 9 here. This leaves him with 7 Dawn. Yep, I just let Hogback go because that's my bread and butter. I need it. We're going to see 6 for Rygo, so he does have the removal. And now you're probably looking at the board going like, this doesn't look great for you. You know, this doesn't look great. Like, you're staring down 2 Katakuris, but he is going to swing with the second one. I'm definitely going to take this. Unless he's swinging it brand new, unironically. If he is swinging it brand new, which actually he had to have been. So I decided to block with Rebecca there. Because I want to keep as many bodies on board. Brand new is a potential swing for lethal in the future of this game. So I don't want to give it up. I don't care about Rebecca. Rebecca being in trash is actually more helpful for me than it being on the board while I have nothing realistically to protect. And so I play another Rebecca of my own though. Pick up Hina, reducing one of the Katakuris. I'll just hard play out a Sakazuki. This allows me to KO that and then just pass the turn. Now, the crazy part is I have 5 life. He has 1 life. A Yamato goes extremely hard here. It gives him a heal. It KOs my Sakazuki. But I know that I have Hogback in trash, and that's all that matters. Hogback will win me the value game in the long run. But if he's going to swing 7, that means that he definitely does not have the removal. But he does have the Enel. Enel's annoying. I'm like, I don't have enough counter to protect Hina twice. I was actually expecting maybe like another Rygo or something. But he's seen his top end pretty reliably this game. So Enel's annoying. I'm like, man, do I want to let it go? You know, I kind of want to block here because I want him to use the Katakuri. So that's where I end up going like with the mindset here is I don't really care about the blocker as much as I do about him resting the Katakuri. I want to be able to remove both characters off the board this next turn. So he's going to swing 9 into Hina. Just let it go. I don't care. I know he's got 2 cards in hand. I'm either going to get him to 0 cards in hand right now. You see this immediate snap 9k into Enel. I'm like, are you going to give me the life or are you going to let the Enel die? So that's where my head's at. I'm like, I want this Enel gone. You got to either trash a life and you lose a card in hand, which means I can more than likely just go for game, or you just let it die and then I can swing into your Katakuri and bring back the Hogback and just start outvaluing you every single turn from here on out. And my opponent can't do anything about it. I've got 5 life. Yeah, you healed me. You know, you removed 2 of my cards, which would have been great. But, dude, I'm just going to drop the E-Show. I don't care. We're just bringing back Hogback. And I'm going to get Moria. We'll return a couple things. I've seen all 4 of my Peronas, which is great. So I'll just put one of those to the bottom.
Sorry.
And, oh, that's crazy. I just got to follow as I'm doing this recording. But, yeah, we end up removing the entire board. And now we've developed a pretty solid board. You know, my opponent is going to hit me with a 10 cost rush ace. And it's funny because my opponent and I are laughing. Like, because we're like, yo, did you top deck that? And he's like, yeah. And, yeah, so we're actually having a good time. You know, we're doing this, that, and the other. But quick, snap. 13k into ace. I'm going to trash my Hina and mill a couple cards. Unfortunately, I don't think I saw another Hogback, which is tragic. I was right here. This was Hogback every day, all day. But I made the bad decision of getting rid of my Sindris earlier on in the game. I think that it would have been really nice for me to bring those back. I could have played Moria here, but I just don't want him to have a big swing. I don't want him to have anything on the board. You can just keep attacking my life, and I'm okay with it. So I'm just going to pass, because if he does play another ace, he's not going to get the rush. So I'm fine with that. Well, technically, I guess he could if he chooses not to gain the life. But I put my opponent in a bit of a weird spot now. He is going to swing 6 into life. This feels like a pretty free take right here. I can go down to 3. And hopefully we get a Hogback or something, because that's realistically what I'm looking for. If he does have a Yamato, it kind of sucks for, sucks for us, but he just passes here. He was basically baiting the Yamato. And yeah, leaves 9 Dawn up. I'll go ahead and draw for turn. Now I've got the ability to do Moria. I can swing with my board as well. I can get 4 5Ks, so I'm going to get some cards out of hand. But what I do instead is don't play Moria. I decide to play Sabo. I'm digging for the Hogback, but also I want to protect my board from any potential triggers, such as Onami, Raigo, you know, stuff like that. I don't really care about the Moria right now. You know, you might think like it's always better to just go tall. No, not always. You know, I'm trying to find particular pieces that are going to realistically win me this game. And as great as Moria is, Sabo's going to at least keep my board healthy for this turn, which is fantastic. I still don't think I found that Moria, or Hogback, excuse me. So I'm just hard playing out another Perona. I mean, this is super unlucky. I'm not going to lie. It's like super unlucky not seeing another Hogback here. But I mean, that's just my life. I get games like this all the time where I'm like, dude, how do I have 15 cards left and I haven't seen one of my 4-ofs? But he does take the 5, which was pretty surprising. With from brand new. He does drop a 0-cost event though to heal back up. I'm going to swing 5, we get a 2k. I'm going to swing another 5, get another 2k, and we just pass it back. So we basically kept him at 2 cards to 3 cards in hand this entire game. That feels terrible as an Enel player. You're like, oh, dude, what are we doing? Like, I don't have a board. I am down to 1 life. I'm basically reliant on top decking the card that I need every single time, or finding it in life and being able to protect myself from going to 0 the following turn. So he's definitely in a rough spot. If he sees ace here, it's great for him. He could arguably, you know, Yamato's not bad either. Just because you can heal 1 and KO the Perona because it's not protected by Sabo. But he doesn't have it. So he's just going a very large swing into one of the Peronas, and it is gone. It is gone. But now, I mean, we're looking at victory right here. We're staring down victory. We just got to swing correctly. So I swing 7 with the Sabo with 3 cards in hand. You know, you basically are telling me that I have the game if you counter here. And if you don't, then, you know, yeah, sure, I have to dedicate a little bit more, but I'm not too worried about it. I swing 7 with Sabo just because I like to dedicate the least amount of Dawn possible. So just 1 Dawn there. He is going to use the leader effect, heals 1, and trashes a Raigo. I just do another 7, you know, because I just want 2 cards out of hand, or I want you to take your last life. And with that, he's going to give me the 0-cost event as well as a Katakuri. And now I know that 7 connects. As long as it's not a 0-cost event or Bej, it's game over. And he does not hit either of those, and I end up swinging 10 for game. But I hope that the thought process and the mentality of, you know, this matchup kind of correlates in, you know, what I was talking about in this video. You know, not every game works out this way. You know, sometimes Enel just gets all the gas. Like, for example, he was just milling the top of his deck right here. He didn't see a Yamato. He also didn't see Onami or Rocket Luffy off of life. That can really swing the tide of games sometimes. Just me losing tempo can be really troublesome. He didn't really have a great Gidatsu play at any point, even if he did have it. So it felt like realistically things just went really well. And, you know, besides not seeing that second Hogback, I think that we were looking fantastic. Imagine if we had, our hand size would have been insane, and we would have defended everything and probably ended the game sooner. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Other than that, y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.